welcome back to my very small channel. I wanted to ask the question, should you hire a sensitivity reader for an imaginary RPG? In my opinion, absolutely not. And I think we should clarify that a sensitivity reader is not the same as a subject matter expert or some kind of informational consultant. People are trying to blend the two and have done at times, but I don't think that's correct at all. Someone that you want for informational purposes generally should not be used for sensitivity type of material. For example, would certainly consider if I wanted to, say, write a Irish role-playing game set in a zombie apocalypse that used Irish soldiers as the heroes, I would certainly consider, getting a consultant in to explain to me about certain military tactics, weaponry, etc. Also, being Irish, we don't have access to guns, so I don't know shit about guns. I know quite a bit about unarmed combat because I've been training since I was a kid, but guns, I don't know anything about because they're obviously illegal here. Assuming I couldn't get the information through research by myself, but it may be a quicker route to hire or get a friend or whatever to help me with something like that. So why shouldn't you hire one? First thing I'd like to kind of ask as well is, who's qualified? I mean, there's no official qualification, as far as I know. I mean, what gives someone the ability to be a sensitivity reader? I think it's a pile of horseshit. I think it's a self-given title by most of these people. And why would I consider them qualified? For example, does someone who is in the gay community, are they like gay experts? Is someone who's black, are they experts at black culture, at history? You see, what I'm trying to get at is being a member of X, Y, or Z, that does not make you a scholar. Some of these people seem to operate is you're a member of a certain ethnicity or sexual orientation, and you're automatically this guru or expert. You see, I don't accept that as fact. I think that's bollocks. For example, does me being Irish mean that I'm an expert in Celtic myths? I mean, I know quite a bit about Celtic myths because I'm interested in them, but I am not a fucking expert. If I wanted to learn about Celtic myths, I would go to a scholar. Someone that knows their shit, but I'm no expert. So someone would have to prove their worth to me, whether it was a sensitivity reader or a consultant, and I just do not buy that you are somehow specially gifted being a member of X, Y, and Z. It's not enough. And kind of leading on from that point, how do you kind of gauge quality control? I mean, how do you know any of these people really know what they're talking about? How can you judge if you're an outsider? It's like saying to, a car mechanic can say to me, oh, well, your gasket's exploded. I don't know what a fucking gasket is. I'm not a mechanic. So you're not in a position as an author and an outsider. How are you to judge someone's quality or accuracy for that matter? That to me is deeply concerning because there's no, as I said, official anything. Anyone can proclaim that they're a sensitivity reader, and yet it's a completely self-given title. And people who give themselves titles, I don't really respect. Now, if they'd been, years at doing kind of deep dive cultural analysis, etc., that would be at least something. But someone, I'm Irish, therefore I could show you how to be extremely sensitive to Irish people and what Irish people think. No, I can't. I mean, I can certainly say a few things, but I'm no cultural expert, and I don't believe these people are either. Now, I have to preface this by saying not all, but a lot of them, from what I've seen on the internet who claim to be sensitivity readers, are grifters. In my opinion, again, not all. But it always seems like an odd coincidence that the one who chirps the loudest also just so happens to be a cultural consultant and is available for work behind the scenes. And you're kind of going, well, so they're rattling their sabers, making sure, oh, look, this role-playing game or book or comic, oh, look, they should never have done that, or they've got this wrong, and that could be insulting to... And then you look at their profile and, oh, I'm available for a sensitivity reader. So it seems very odd that it just so happens. Like, have you noticed that the ones that are screeching from the heavens about how bad a product is are also offering their services? Very strange coincidence that I'm not buying it. In my opinion, some of these are total grifters, just looking for a quick bit of cash and some cred with the kind of scoldy crowd. My other concern about these sensitive types are if you hire one of these people, right, you're literally paying someone to find problems. I mean, if they don't find problems in your work, you will have wasted your money and you'll tell other people, well, or he or she didn't really do anything. So, you no need to hire them. So these people will have to find something in order to justify their position and earnings. In the end, you could be hit with a load of frivolous bilge that these people kind of literally make up. So you've got people like deleting bits and pieces out of their games that may not needed to be done in the first place. So the concept is in some ways flawed to me. They have to justify their position. And I would say to any creative who is creating something, with heart, passion, that your art is more important than people's feelings. No one is deliberately setting out to make people upset, but if you start rolling over for these people, then you're kind of seen as an easy target. And once you compromise your vision, you're like basically sanitizing your art. As far as I'm concerned, role-playing games are an art form, and they're an art of the creator's vision and expression. And when you get people coming in criticizing something just because it may not be politically correct, I think to roll over for your, artistic vision is very foolish. Like if you give in to a terrorist, then all of a sudden they know they can get away with it again and again and again. Now, I'm not saying that sensitivity readers and skulls are terrorists, but it's kind of a similar principle. So I personally would never roll over. Also, I do believe these people are fully entitled to criticize your work. I mean, you can't please everyone. No matter what you do, it's going to piss someone off. And some people are very thin-skinned and they're going to get upset over something. Other people won't. So it's kind of up to you to decide whether you're going to go down that road of self-censorship. I mean, if you look at something like some of the other larger companies, they tend to roll over real quick. And again, that just fuels the skulls more. So it's a slippery slope, if you will, in my opinion, anyway. Also, why the feck would you hire a sensitivity reader if you're on a small budget as well? Save that cash and pay a bloody artist or a good layout man or, an editor, something that will actually increase the value of your book. I mean, will make it a much better piece of work in the end. What's a sensitivity reader going to do? Nothing. It won't add much value to your book. The only thing you can do is put in your credits that you used Jim Bobby Jones, Jilly, Junebug as a sensitivity reader. That's it. It's not exactly a huge boon. Consultants, etc., and the like should be based on your specific needs, such as if you're trying to make your game, games more authentic for a specific period, etc., or want to understand hard science principles or something for your sci-fi game. But they're only really to be used when you don't have that knowledge. And that could actually affect the game's authenticity or verisimilitude. And a lot of this can be bypassed with your own research as well. But a consultant may save you time. There's a lot of writers that just get their head down and just start trolling the internet and other books, etc. That's another way to do it. Another point really is that in this current censorious climate, a sensitivity reader is something that you really, need or should have. But that's bollocks. I mean, how many classic RPGs had any sensitivity readers back in the day? If you look at these sensitivity readers as well, they're kind of going beyond just the sensitive effect, and they're all very preachy. I mean, rather than, say, a real consultant who's just there to dole out the facts as you need them, like if something in your game was off, most of these internet bots who offer this service are mostly about getting money and trying to preach to you in order to force you to adhere to some politically correct agenda. And look at their manifesto, etc. You'll see that they're all very similar and they all have a very similar outlook. And it's one that they're trying to get you to adopt, as opposed to just making your game for the better. Reminds me of some kind of religious position.